Hello, this is Janet16 and today I'm reviewing the newly released Flying Scotsman 60103. This is a new release from Hornby. It was announced just a couple of weeks ago in their 2019 range. If you watch the live broadcast of the new Hornby 2019 range, you would see that I was over the moon when they announced this lovely locomotive in the Express passenger blue. And I was even more shocked to have an email the other day to say it's been posted, it's on its way. Which, you know, it's not like Hornby to release so much straight away, but I believe this one's been in the works for the last year and was meant to be on the Hornby catalogue last year. So this is R3627. And I'll get them out of the box and we'll take a closer look at the model. It really is a stunning livery. And here it is. So, first thing to notice is the colour. It is just perfect. So Hornby actually done a blue Flying Scotsman with the Marks and Spencer's Flying Scotsman train pack, which is actually quite hard to get hold of and very expensive, not worth paying for. Now you can get the model. They do pop up now and then on eBay, but I got the coaches anyway, so there was no need. But I did manage to get the loco split from this set back about 2 years ago. But the loco had damage, that's where I got it, because it was cheap. It needed a new dart on the smoke box at the front now. Some steps were missing on the tender. So overall, I've always said if they do one, I will get it. And as soon as they announced this one, I sold mine. Because I wanted this new model, and that way I got a box for it and everything. And a lot of people don't know that Flying Scotsman was in this colour. And this would have been about late 49, maybe early 50, 1950, to about 1953, 1954. I can't remember the exact date it was changed to the green. But yeah, it did run in this livery. When I used to put the old one pictures on Facebook and that, it's surprising how many people thought I took the smoke deflectors off Tornado and just renamed it. And I was like, no, this is an official model. A lot of people didn't realise Hornby did make a model of this. But anyway, let's get into the loco itself. Now, I will be honest, I took this out of the box as soon as it arrived yesterday, gave it a full run-in session, half an hour in each direction, no problems whatsoever. It did start off a bit noisy, but you expect that because it needs to be running. And yeah, it runs really smoothly. It can manage my Northumbrian rake, which is 7 coaches. You'll see some clips of that at the end of the video. So the running side of things is fine. I'll put some clips up at the end of the video so you can see it running. So if we jump straight in, left at the smoke box end of the loco or the front, either way, we have darts on the front of the smoke box, which mine didn't have, so that's nice. And you know, it's very nicely detailed. You've got sprung buffers, your 3-link coupling at the front there as well, purely decorative. I've never actually tried using them. The bogey wheel under the front as well is nicely done. Some of the A4s, early A4s, they have a problem with the bogey where they're just a little bit too light and they like to derail. I've only ever had it on one of my A4s. And of course it's the same chassis for the A3. But you got the little crest up here. Not crest, sorry, a little shed plate and everything. Single chimney, which is nice, because a lot of my A3s have double chimney, apart from Lattice, I think it is. But no, very nicely detailed, and especially the valve gear here. I mean, I've seen this 30 odd times with my A4s and A3s, but it's just always nice to look at and nice to watch when the loco's running. So there's the name, proof that it is Flying Scotsman. Again, Hornby made my day when they announced this model, and the detail is great. The paintwork is perfect. I can't see anything wrong with it. One thing I did notice getting out of the box though, excuse me, the moulding joint between the boiler across the top here, it's not brilliant to be honest, but I can let that go by. Eventually all of my locos will be weathered, even if it's heavy weathering, light weathering. This one will be having a nice light weathering, nothing too heavy, so that'd be nice, and that will probably just hide that little crease at the top there, but you can't really see it, not on the camera anyway. Again, the valve gear, very nice. If we move around to the cab, the 60103 on the cab is great. This loco has cab detail along with the vents on the roof that slide backwards and forwards. Something I want to do this year is fit crew to all of my locos, so that's got to be fun and expensive at the same time, because I have something like 100 that I run constantly on the layout. The one thing that surprised me actually with the cab, you can just see them here, the cab doors. Now when I got the loco at the box, I thought they had completely forgotten, but no, they are there. That's the first time I've actually noticed them. If we move around to the tender, so this is the second stage of tender. I think Scotsman, no, the third. So Scotsman started life with a GNR tender, which is the one with the rails across the top. Looks very different to these. Then Flying Scotsman had the corridor, I think it was the slipstream version tender. Then BR came in, changed everything. He ended up with this smooth-sided non-corridor tender. And Scotsman stayed with this tender for quite some time, right up until I think he was preserved, turned back to apple green, where they put the right tender back on him. So it's interesting because you watch these documentaries about Flying Scotsman, they're always going on about the corridor tender, but Scotsman didn't have that tender very long before it was changed, and he had this normal flat-ended tender. So the drivers can't go from the coaches through to the engine and swap over like that with this tender, because Scotsman wasn't used. People correct me in the comments if you know, but I'm pretty sure Scotsman wasn't used on the long distance trains through the 50s, not until he had his apple green tender back. He might have had the BR tender with the corridor before he went apple green, but I can't really remember. I'd have to do some research on that. If we move around, again I want to put real cobalt in all of my tenders at some point. So this is the tender steps I was telling you about that was missing on my original model. So it's nice to have that. Sprung buffers on a tender. Your sound chip goes in a tender, I think. So if you want to TTS sound this one, you can do. It'll be pretty simple. Just take a load of the BR one or just buy another chip. It should be quite easy. But nicely detailed, the tender. These rails on the bottom here, right across there. I think that's the brake, do with the brakes. Be careful with that if you're picking a loco up like this. Now I never pick up locos by putting your hands on the actual, you know, like that. I always pick up from the chassis. That way you can't get your greasy hands on the loco. You get grease on the locos and then it starts shining. And eventually, over the years, I've ruined one of my J36s, old Backman one, by where I kept picking out by the sides, and the grease in my hands wore off the decal. So this early emblem decal here got worn right off just because of grease over the years. I mean, I wash my hands all the time, but everyone has grease in their hands, even if you can't feel it or see it. So you got to be careful with that with some models. But if I zoom back out actually, so when I'm picking up my locos, I always pick them up like that, and that way you can be pretty sure you won't do any damage to the loco. Just be careful when you're picking up with a valve gear, which is different for some locos because some locos don't have it, some do, some have really complicated valve gears, so it all depends on the loco. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to be able to show you, but there is cab detail. You can just make out a bit there. But no, very nice. I'm very pleased with this loco. Hornby really did make my day when they announced this. It's just a superb model. And like I said, I was very shocked to see it coming out so early. But yeah, it had been in the pipeline for quite some time. I didn't mention this step down here, but that's nice. Your lamps are go on the front, of course. Again, something I got to do with all my engines. It's going to be an expensive year, because the other time I'll be buying the new Hornby locos, I will be fitting lamps, crew and rear cord to them. So yeah, it's not going to be cheap this year. I can see it now. But no, I'm very pleased with this loco. I want to say thank you to Hornby. If anyone from Hornby watches this, you really did make my day with this one. Even more with, we got the Mallard coming out in the same livery. That's going to be very exciting, because I've always wanted Mallard in the BR blue. But so there we have it. That is Flying Scotsman in BR Express Passenger Blue. And yep, a stunning loco. I highly recommend this one. I know there's a few people out there who's not too fussed on the blue, especially some of my friends. But they have said it does look smart on Flying Scotsman. But to be completely honest, it would look smart on any A3. Because they're all the same at the end of the day. I probably should have brought my Prince Palatine tender in just to show you that rail tender, but never mind, we'll keep that for another day. So thank you for watching, and I will put some shots up now of the loco running on Stoke Summit. And thank you for watching this video. Please like, please subscribe, and I will see you soon with hopefully more reviews. So bye for now.